Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So in our last videos, we learned how we can record scripts in JMeter. We learned it on Firefox, how we can record it on Firefox, and also how we can record it on Chrome using a plugin called Blazemeter. So in our last video, we saw the Chrome recording using Blazemeter, and this is the script that we imported after recording. So the purpose of JMeter is to apply load. Basically, we recorded our scripts either using Firefox or JMeter. But now we have to apply load on that user flow. Suppose we recorded this step of clicking on a form, filling that form, and clicking on submit. That is done. We can record it now as shown in previous videos. Now our purpose is to put load on that step. Now our purpose is to run that flow using 10 users, suppose. For one user we can record it, but if we want to run the same flow using 10 user at the same time, then for that we use JMeter. So running it with multiple user is called putting load on your script. Okay, so we will be running our script with multiple users at the same time. So you can create user flow by recording these scripts. Now we will learn how we can run that script with multiple users. So this was the script that we recorded in our previous video. So we recorded demo.automation testing.in site. So as I told you in my previous video also, we could have excluded the Google and YouTube domain at the time of before basically saving the script, but we didn't do that step here. So now what we can do is we can just delete Google and YouTube, and I just want this site demo.automationtesting.in site. I want the flow to only include this site. So I can just simply right click on this and click on remove to remove the Google and the YouTube ones. So let's remove this too. These are all the captcha, so we don't really need it. And then this. So now I have my test ready. These are the site. Basically, it is going to register, then table, then alerts, then register again, then YouTube, and then index.html twice. And these are some few headers. These are few header managers, user defined variables. Basically, we have defined our base URL demo.automationtesting.in. These were for Google and YouTube. So we have removed that. So we can remove this too if you want. So we can click on this and click on delete. And YouTube also we can delete. So this is the variable that we have created for the our domain. Okay. So we will learn more about these later. But yeah, now our script is ready. So if you click on this thread group, under thread group we have test that was by default on Blazemeter, and these are all the APIs that were recorded. In the thread group, it says number of threads. So what is number of threads? Number of threads is number of users that we need. Suppose if I specify it as 10, that means this script will be executed by 10 users. So thread group is nothing but a set of threads, or threads you can say users, that are executing the same scenario. Okay. So right now the number of threads or number of user is 1. So it will be run only once. It is executed only by one user. So first let's run it with one user. Then we will discuss our ramp up period. Ramp up period is nothing but in how many seconds you want that user to be up. Basically, in how many seconds you want to ramp up the user. Suppose there are 10 users. In how many seconds you want all the 10 users to come on the server? Because in real time scenario, not everyone will click on the button at the same time. Exactly at the same time, they will not be performing at operation. But suppose if you give 30 seconds, so it will be like simulating the real time scenario more. So in 30 seconds, if I've given 10 users, 10 users will be on the server in 30 seconds. It is the ramp up period. Okay. So these many people will be there at the party within, if it's 5 o'clock, if you have given the time as 5 o'clock for your birthday party. So not, and you have called around 20 people at your party. So not all the 20 people will come at exactly 5 o'clock. You can give time as like 5:10. By 5:10, you feel that all the people will be there in the party and you can start your cake cutting process. In real, it you will have to keep it 5:30 if you have given the time as 5. So by 5:30, all the 20 people will arrive at your party and then you can plan your cake cutting. Similarly, ramp up period is also same. So after if you have given it to be 10 seconds, so after 10 seconds, all the users, maybe if you have given 10 users, after 10 seconds, all the 10 users will be on your server. Loop count is how many time you want to execute the scenario. For example, one user is currently executing the scenario once because it is given as 1. If I give it as 5, so the same scenario will be executed 5 times by the one user. So right now it is 1, number of user is 1. Ramp up period by 1 second it will be up on the server and your loop count is just 1. So to see, basically we'll learn more about listeners in our later video, but to see the execution, to see the output, we have to add a listener. So click on your main project, right click on your main project, click on add, and then you have to click on listener. So I will select this result tree for now. Okay. So now I will click on my thread group. Now, right now I'm running it only with one users. Okay, one user only I'm running it to see if the script is working or not. Before putting load, just check once with a single user whether the script is working, whether the recorded script is working correctly or not. So I will click on this run button and then I will go to view result tree. Now you see it started running. The green tick indicates that it is working correctly. Here you can see the yellow exclamatory sign. You can see that it is running. Right now, one user is currently running. So as you can see, all the URLs are running. These are the URLs that were recorded: register, web table, alerts, register, YouTube index. So all that run and all are successfully working. As you can see, the green sign indicates it passed. Okay. So now we are going to put the load on the script. So this is we can clear the results by clicking on this clear button. So now the results are clear. Now I can put load on the script. Suppose I want to run this script with 50 users. Or let me take it 30 for now. 30 users I want to run the script with. Or I can take 10 because 30 will take time. You can try with 30, 50 after, seeing the tutorial. And ramp up seconds, I want to take it as, suppose if I take 20 users, let's increase the count. Let's take 20 users. So if there are failures, if it is not able to handle load, that will be recorded here. And let me do ramp up period as 5 seconds. Okay. So After 5 seconds, all the 20 users will be upon the server. So if I divide 20 by 5, it is 4, right? So in the first seconds, 4 users will be there. In the second, 4 more users will be there. So at 2 seconds, 8 users will be there. At third second, 4 more users will come. So after 3 seconds, 12 users will be there. At fourth second, 4 more users will come. So at the fourth second, 16 users will be there. And at the fifth second, 4 more users will come. So after 20 seconds, after 5 seconds, 20 users will be there. Are you getting my point? Let me open a notepad and show you clearly. See, so number of users are 20 and ramp up period is 5. So that means after 5 seconds, all 20 users will be there on the server. Okay. So that means how the 20 users will be ramped up within 5 seconds. So at first second, first you divide 20 by 5. 20 by 5 is 4. Okay. So at first second, 4 users will be there. At second, after 2 seconds, 4 more users will be there, meaning 4 plus 4, 8 users will be there. At third second, 4 more users will come, meaning 8 users were already there, 4 more will come, then it will be 12 users. At fourth second, 12 users are already there, 4 more users will come, it will be 16 users. And finally, at the fifth second, 16 users are already there, 4 more users will come. That means 20 users will be there. So as you can see, after 5th seconds, all 20 users will be there on the server. And suppose loop count we have specified as 1. Let me specify it as 2. So one user will execute all the steps twice. So 20 users. So one user is going to execute 2 times. So 20 users will be executing 20 into 2, 40 times. Okay. So it will run 40 times for 20 users. Okay. And if I take this infinite, then it will keep running. It will never stop unless you explicitly stop it using stop button. And also you can specify the duration. Suppose you don't want to specify the loop count, but you want to specify it to run for around 5 minutes continuously, and how much startup delay will be there. You can specify it manually too. Right now I'm specifying loop count. So I hope you understood all these properties. Main is number of threads, how many users you want, ramp up period, in how many seconds you want to ramp up all the users, and how many times you want to run, how many times you want to execute these steps. And it's like actions to be taken after a sampler error. Suppose if an error occurs, by default it is continuous ticked. So if an error occurs, it will continue with the next steps. Start next thread loop is if an error occurs, it will just stop the current loop and will start with the next loop. Stop thread, it will just immediately stop the test if any error occurs. It will stop that thread. Suppose it is running for user number 5. Suppose it is running for user number 5 and an error occurs with user number 5. So it will not run the remaining scenarios of user number 5. It will just move to the next thread. Stop test means it will immediately stop the test. If any failure is encountered, it will stop the test, and stop the test now means it will just abruptly stop the test. Okay, so this is usually by default we keep it continue only. So in case you want that if any failure occurs, you don't want to continue running the test, then you can select the stop test. Okay, so let's run our test. So before running the test, let's create one more listener so that we can see how many times each API is executed. Okay, so click on main folder, right click, add listener, and click on this aggregate report. Okay, we will study about these reports in detail in our coming videos. So now we have two reports, view result tree and aggregate report. Now let's run our test. Click on this run button. So as you can see, the test started executing. Our register API is getting called, our web table API is getting called, then alerts. So if you see, can you tell me how many times these will be executed? So you can see from here, right now it is currently executing. Right now the 20th one is executing. So once it becomes zero, that means all the thread or all the users have successfully executed. Then that means, our test execution is completed. Right now, if you see the run button is also disabled, that means our test is still running. So now you can see uh, these changing, and now you see it became zero. Took a total of 53 seconds to execute, and our run button became enabled. That means our test execution have been successfully completed. Now we know that our number of threads are 2. That is number of users are 20. So each API will be executed 20 times, right? By each API will get executed by each user. So 20 times API will get executed. Also, one user is executing twice. So how many execution will be there? As we discussed earlier, 40 execution will be there. So each API is going to be executed 40 times. Okay, so here if you count, 40 times each API is getting executed. Also note that the register API is called twice, web table is called once, alert is called once, YouTube is called once, but index API is called twice. So if you go into aggregate report, this sample shows us how many times the API got executed. If I expand the label, so register got executed 80 times because it got called twice. Web table 40, alerts 40, YouTube 40 as we discussed earlier, and index is executed 80 times because index is also getting called 2 times. And then you can count it in our result tree as well. If I click on this API, so this is the details about this thread, about this API, about load time, connect time, and the response code is 200. Okay. And if I click on request, so this is the API that was called. It was a get API and no cookies were sent. And if I click and if this is my request body and this is the request header, all the header information. And if I click on response data, this is the response that was received after the API was called. Similarly, if I click on web table, the request again it was a get API and this is the response data. Okay, if I click on YouTube, so this is the request get API and this is the response. So you can see all the information about the API here as well. So it has successfully returned us 200 status code, 200 OK, and response messages OK. For index, I can see the response code is 304 and the response message is not modified. Register, again it is 200. So this is dependent on how the website is built, what status code is returned. So the green indicates everything passed. Okay. And in the aggregate report also, we will discuss this aggregate report in detail in our coming videos. But this also shows that 320 executions have been made totally, and there are no errors received. If there is any error, this green will be turned into red. So I also suggest that one first step is to record the script either through Chrome or through Firefox. In Chrome, you can use Blazemeter, and then just run it with one thread, one user only, and then check if the API is working correctly, if all these APIs that are recorded are working correctly. Once you know that the single API is working correctly, then you can increase the number of users, and now you know if any errors are shown, that is because the API is not able to handle load. It's not an issue with the API, but an issue with API not being able to handle multiple users simultaneously. So, this is it for this video. In future videos, we will learn more about JMeter. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section. And if you found this video useful, then please make sure to subscribe to my channel. That will motivate me to make more such videos. Thank you for watching.